Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's video, after the busy silaging of last week, we've moved on to slurry. Got a bit of slurry spread towards the end of last week, which was great. Yeah, got two of the silage fields done, and we're now in the third silage field. We've got a bit of grazing done as well, so we've been in full slurry mode over the last few days. And I said I'd just take the camera out and take a wee bit of footage just of how we're getting on. So that's what today's video is going to be, a bit about slurry. We're also going to do a little bit of a talk about the 215. It turned 1,000 hours while we were at the silage there last week. There's now 1,033 hours on it, so we're a bit, well, we're not 2 years into owning it yet, but we're heading that direction, and we've got 1,000, just over the 1,000 hour mark on it. And yeah, we're going to give a little bit of a rundown on the good points, the bad points, what I like, what I'd change, and all that kind of stuff that goes with that. So I've been asked to do that over the past while, something I've been trying to do for about 6 months. So today's the day we're going to do a walk around on that, and there is some things that I would like to change, so we'll go through that later in the video. Yeah, so two of the fields is done. The 12-acre silage field, or it's just over 12 acres, it's done. We've got an 8-acre, the 8-acre silage field is done, and this is the other 8 acres that's split into two fields. 4.5 acres in this plot here, and then the top end of it has about 3.5 acres or just over. So yeah, going to slurry it. The reason it was slurried, it's been slurried last, is our cows are grazing down here. Cows and calves, the biggest batch of cows and calves, they are grazing. They were grazing over the other side of the road. When the silage was cut, they were moving over this direction to graze in the field beyond here through the gate, but we left them here. They got 3 days actually round the ditches, just clearing it all up. They made a really good job of it, and they ate right in tight to the ditch. We didn't cut that tight around the ditch in this field here because it was grazed last year, and with the weather and the wet, it wasn't rolled. So yeah, by the time it was dry enough to roll, it was the grass was too strong on it, so it didn't like coming in to roll strong grass. It would never have stood back up, and yeah, it just meant that, you know yourself, when you've cattle grazing, they'll stick the head through the ditches, they knock some of the stones out. There's old stone ditches in part of this field, so yeah, I didn't want to just risk the harvest or the mow by cutting in too close. So I left a little bit of a margin along the side, and the cows have hoovered that up, made a really good job of it. So yeah, that's why this field is last. So yeah, I'm going to get a bit of footage spreading some slurry. You'll see how we're getting on. We have a good bit of slurry still to put out. This field has to be done. We have about 8 acres to do in one field, which is a grazing field where we have our bulls. They have that eaten down, and they've got moved out of it there just yesterday, so it has to be slurried as well. There's another 4 acres in another field that has to be slurried, and then we have 6 acres. We have 2 fields to reseed over the coming weeks. One of them has 6 acres in it, so it's going to get slurried as well before it gets ploughed down. It's burnt off and ready to be ploughed down, and the other field has 8 acres in it, and it's pretty much the same. It has to be slurried and ploughed down as well. So good bit of slurry to go out, which is good because we have a lot of slurry in the tanks. The wet springtime meant that we didn't get as much slurry out in the springtime as we usually would. So all our tanks is full. So we've one of the tanks in the shed down the bottom is empty. The other tank, it mixed, and we're working out of it now. So yeah, want to get some of them tanks emptied down. But yeah, the fact that we've a good bit of slurry to do at the minute should swallow up some of that. So yeah, that's where we are and what we're at. So we'll do the slurry end of the video first, and then we'll do the 215 end of the video and the little chat about it then afterwards. So yeah, let's get the tanker folded out and get slurrying. So we're just making our way around the first round, and yeah, Slurry's nice. It's just a nice thickness. It's not too watery, it's not too thick, it's just absolutely perfect. We have a couple of tanks that we will have to put a bit of water into when we are just when we're going to mix them, but these two tanks, luckily enough, we're pretty much okay. We had a first little blockage on the tank up on Saturday, where a small stone just happened to go in and catch up in the... It went round with the macerator and just stuck in the end of the pipe where the slurry leaves the macerator to go down the tube. So we had to just pull the pipe off, take the little hatch off the macerator, knock the stone back in and pull it out. It was actually, it may not have even been a stone, it might have been a wee bit of wood, but it was just the exact size to go into the macerator, so to go into the pipe, sorry, when it was leaving the macerator. So yeah, it's just one of them things. We're just coming to the end of load number 1 here. It's more or less took us right around the field, so not too bad. But yeah, that's the first time we've had any little blockages at all with it, and all the slurry that we put out. So yeah, I suppose it's not too bad. They're a great dribble bow. The MBE dribble bow, they're absolutely fantastic. I know I'm always singing their praises, but there's a reason for it. When I had it folded out, and on Saturday I just went around and greased it, and yeah, just all the grease points on it, and the way it's designed is absolutely fantastic. So if you're in the market for a dribble bow, check out MBE dribble bows in you can get, you get them on Facebook. I might put the link in the description, but yeah, and it is the only way to go. A lot of people probably think that it's hassle, but once you get used to using a dribble bow, I would think about doing it any other way, because the extra bit of usage that you get from your nitrogen that's not being lost is very much noticeable, and if it wasn't, I wouldn't be doing it. So yeah, anyway, get back and we'll get the drone up on the next run. I'm going to get a wee bit of drone footage, and yeah, we'll continue on.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go.
Alright, so we're going well at the slurrying. We've all the silage ground is finished at this stage. I've been slurrying on some grazing ground now over the last few fields. So we've just finished off a 3-acre paddock that cattle were moved out of over the last couple of days, and then I have a 4.5-acre paddock as well that other cattle were moved out of, and it just leaves now. I have one more 4-acre paddock to do, and once that's done, then we'll more or less finish the slurry for the minute. So yeah, going well. So yeah, I'll continue on, finish the slurry, and then when I'm done we will go through the 215 and have a walk around it. Alright, so onto the tractor, and we're going to just do a little walk around and a review of things that I like and dislike about it. Now that we're reached almost heading for 2 years into owning it, and 42 hours on it now, and just go through a few bits and pieces on it. I suppose the fact that I'm in the cab, we'll start off in the cab. The first thing about the tractor that I really like is, and it's not going to be all like, there is stuff that I dislike too, and I'm going to go through it all. I like the size of the cab. The cab is bigger than what I was used to in the 6930. They did make the cab bigger, John Deere, for the previous iteration of 155s and 175s, 215s. And it's a good job. The tractor feels a lot more airy inside. For the likes of me, I'm 6'3.5", and I'm a big guy. For the likes of me in the tractor, on long days now, I can actually turn the seat sideways and stretch my legs out fully, which I couldn't do in the 6930. So that's a big thing, to be able to do that, and just to be able to stretch your legs out and to relax a wee bit more is great. So there is that. The other thing then that was a wee bit different, dash has gone from what was on the previous tractors. They put the dash now is everything that was on the dash is now here on the corner post, and didn't know if I'd like that or not, but turned out that you get used to it really quickly, and when you're walking or looking at whatever's going on behind and to look forward, you've got the screen here, and everything then is here, nice and easy to read and see. Whereas if it was here on the dash, you'd be maybe leaning forward just to check it out. So that end of it, I like that there as well. It's a good job. Another thing, I suppose, when we're in the tractor, we'll talk about it too. I got the Command Arm Pro. Really like that. Everything is built onto the. Basically, everything is built onto the lever. You can program whatever you want to do on here, and super job. Once you get used to that, it's absolutely brilliant. Gearbox as well. First tractor with auto power. All the tractors had auto quad, power quad, whatever you want to call it. Which I really liked. I really liked the auto quad. But now it took a wee bit of getting used to it. It is different to drive. The auto quad is a wee bit easier to drive, and it's more of a driver's tractor. You know, you can horse it. You've a tractor with auto quad and gears. You can horse it on. This tractor you can't do that so much, because the gearbox is always working to save itself, if you like, which it should do. It takes a bit of getting used to, but once you get used to it, it is a great gearbox, and really like it. And I suppose the thing that you have to ask yourself is, if you were buying another one of the tractors, would you get that gearbox in it again? 1000%, no problem. Yeah, no problem whatsoever. What else is a bit different in the cab itself? I suppose the other thing we went for was the full size door, rather than have the pillar here and a smaller door with a window. The extra visibility is very good. Now the door is a lot heavier, and it does kind of shake around a bit, and I see that being hard on long term. That has to be hard on hinges. It just has to be hard on hinges. It's a big door. So I love the visibility of it. I don't like the size and weight of it. or if a good gust of wind caught it, if it was very windy, it could pull it off. But look at it, a lot of tractors are coming with that now. You can order it with it or without it. I suppose I wouldn't like to not have it once you get used to it and the extra visibility out of it. So you have to put up at the other end of it, and if it wears hinges or hinges goes in it, you just have to get a set of hinges for it. But it seems it's fine so far. But it's just something I see maybe being a problem further down the road. Anything else in the tractor itself? Just trying to see before we go outside. A reverse fan is a good job on it. Got a reverse fan. Yeah, if you're baling, mowing, any of those things where there can be a lot of dust, walking at straw, anything like that, to be able to just flick the reverse fan and blow just the straw debris away from hay, away from your grills, and just keep the tractor's temperature cool. Comfort as well, a lot more comfort in this tractor compared to definitely the 6930. So I'm going back a couple of generations of tractor I like to get to, I'm comparing it to. So but definitely there's a huge, it's more like a car to drive than a tractor really, compared to the 6930. A lot more comfortable. It's quick on the road, does about 57k on the road, and which a lot of them do now at this stage. And yeah, the lighting package as well, better lighting all around it than what I was used to. So yeah, that end of it's all very good. So far we've mostly good things that we've been saying, so we'll go out and we'll talk about a couple of the things that aren't so good, and things that I think should be changed. Alright, so thing number one that I don't like on the outside is mirrors. So we went for the premium mirror on it, but as you can see by the mirror, it kind of starts off wider at the top and comes down, narrows down. It's not quite a triangle, but it's kind of going that direction. And whereas I like the colour of them, the problem I have with them is they stick out very far on the tractor and are very much in the firing line of getting caught. This one here especially, see how far out it's sticking past the wheel. So what you find yourself doing is you're constantly watching them and trying not to catch them in ditches or vehicles on this side. So yeah, I think that they should design them that they're a little bit further in, tucked in, at least that they're in line with the edge of the tractor. They are extendable, you can push them out if you want to, and they should have kept them a similar shape to the older mirror rather than have them in the triangle, because what happens is the visibility is all at the top, but as you come down you're losing visibility. The mirror narrows down, and yeah, visibility just isn't great on it. So that's why you'll see a lot of these tractors, anyone who test drives one and gets it out on demo or whatever, they cop this on fairly quickly, and then it ends up they go for the standard mirror, which is more of a traditional kind of shape and better visibility out of it. So the more expensive mirror shouldn't be less visibility, if you know what I mean. So that's one thing on the outside that I don't like. Another thing, which isn't so much a problem really on this side, but hold on, we'll go around the other side. Alright, so around the other side, when you are at ploughing, tillage, anything mucky at all, this area in here where there's a lot of different bits and pieces, whether it be cab suspension, the diesel tank goes into the wheel there, whatever it might be, carries and catches a lot of muck and debris and bits and pieces. It fills up with stuff, and you can see there's some stuff already in there. And the problem with that is cleaning it, trying to get it out of it. It's an absolute mess. There should be some kind of a cover or something that goes around it, even in a couple of pieces, that stops that from happening. It shouldn't be building up with debris and thrash. So yeah, that's something that happens, and it really just pees me off. It happens a bit on the other side, but not to the same degree as this side here, and you're constantly having to clear it and clean it out, and yeah, it's just an issue. The tyres that we put on it, I do really like the tyres. They offer up fantastic grip. I put Michelin's on them The only thing about the tyres, which I actually never copped it until, because I didn't measure them, I didn't cop it until I seen It's a Farming Life for Me. He has the same tractor with the same tyres on it. The tyres are supposed to be 650. You can see it down there on the bottom. They're supposed to be 650, but when you put the measuring tape across from side to side, they're only 600. It's not the end of the world, but, and that's not really John Deere's fault, but why are they not 650? The tyres on the 6930, when you measure them across, are the full 650. But other than that, I really like the tyres. I like the look of the tyres, and as I said, they do offer up great grip. You do need to keep them a little pumped harder than if you had the 42-inch rim, because there is movement and flexibility in the sidewall, because the sidewall is pretty big. But other than that, yeah, very happy with the tyres on it. And I suppose the fact the tyres in the front are 600s, and the back ones, I use this tractor on the sprayer anyway, so the fact that they are a little bit narrow is not really the end of the world, you know. Yeah, so that is that. Another small thing, but nevertheless we'll give it a mention, is the steps on this side are pretty much useless. You can't get in the tractor on this side here. It is tight, and maybe if you're a smaller man than me you might be able to get in, but even you want to use the steps, they seem to come out, every step seems to step its way back out towards you every time, and you end up, you feel like you're falling backwards when you're climbing up it. So I've used them a couple of times, but even if you're cleaning the windows or washing it down or doing anything, I tend to just have a little step ladder that I use for that anyway. So yeah, just a bit of a waste of time. A couple other things that I really like is I got the stabilising arms, the hydraulic stabilising arms on it. They are a fantastic job. You set them, they are rock solid. There is zero movement, so you just adjust it to whatever machine you're going on to, and you literally, it would break the arm on the tractor rather than let the stabilising arm move, you know what I mean. So great job if you're mowing, drilling, any of them things where you want to solid it up and you don't want any movement. Really like that. Hydraulic top link also is a good job, and everything else is pretty much basic on the back of it, like most other tractors. I suppose the other thing I have to talk about is what issues have we got with it since we got it. Not many, but we've had a couple of wee things. One of the things that when we got it initially, if the tractor lay for maybe 3-4 days without being used, 5 days, it was draining the battery in it, so it had to go and get a software update for that. Back up to John Deere, did on a software update, and was up there for a couple of hours just getting that done. That cured that, it stopped doing that. It was just something that was draining the battery on it. So that was that. The other thing, that a screw came loose in this here, and the screw came loose, fell out, and we had to get a couple of new, we got a new pack of wee screws just for putting back into it. So yeah, that was another small thing that happened. I suppose nothing too major, but just had to be sorted. And one of the buttons, actually the button on the far side, the rubber perished around this here. Now it was still working fine, but the little rubber just perished on it, and it got changed on the warranty as well. One other thing that was changed on the warranty was the Command Arm Pro lever. It was actually changed. The first one that was on it, after we only had it a few hundred hours, this little rubber here, there's a little rubber there, see it, that runs between these buttons, it came loose on this side. Now you could just feel it when you'd be going to do anything, it was just moving a bit, and you could just push it and it would flick out. It wasn't the end of the world, and if it wasn't covered on the warranty, you'd be just getting a wee bit of glue and sticking it back on. But the fact that it was on the warranty, we mentioned it to our John Deere dealer. I was handling machinery at the time, and they put it through, and they got it changed on the warranty. John Deere said, no, John Deere said, well, I actually thought they'd just maybe get a new rubber piece and put it into it, but they fitted a whole new brand new lever onto it. And as I said, it was maybe 300 hours old. maybe not even that. And yeah, that was that. But that was all the issues that it had. There was one other day, the AdBlue run was then probably about quarter full. I was mowing, it was silage time last year, and I was on the side of a hill, and whether it read that probably, you know, this AdBlue moved around the tank, it read that, you know, running low. Brown took on a light on the tractor. We filled it up with AdBlue. Usually resets itself, but it was still coming up the warning light for that next number of hours. Now I just went into the system itself. You can go in through where the fault is. I just cleared all the faults and issues that was in it. And then once I done that, it never come back on. So I thought maybe it might have to go up to John Deere just to get that fixed, but it didn't. So that's all the little bits of issues that there was with it. There was there wasn't really much. There was a couple of wee niggly things which you can get on any tractor, I suppose. But yeah, nothing really too major. The worst one really was the software one that had the software update was done on to stop it running the battery flat, because it was a bit of a pain. There was one of the times the tractor was right into the shed and it was hard to get jump leads on it, because it was surrounded by machinery and stuff, and you just couldn't get at it that easily. But I think I'd only done it twice altogether before the software update was there, and we left it up and got it sorted. It was just like a recall for it. So yeah, so that's all the ins and outs of it. Overall, there's not much that I don't like about the tractor. I knew what I was buying when I was buying it, and I pretty much knew the spec that I wanted, so that end of it was easy enough. And yeah, overall I'm extremely happy, but just a couple of wee things that I would like change, especially the mirrors. The mirrors is probably the most annoying one. But yeah, that's the lowdown on the tractor. So that's it for today's video. Videos coming up, we have reseeding to do, which is very much weather dependent. It's not a great forecast now for later in the week and over the weekend, so I can't see us ploughing and getting any of that done this week, so it'll be next week. We also have some, well, I don't know if it's going to be silage or hay bales to make. Either way, we're going to be making bales in the next week or so as well, because we have some grazing that has gotten ahead of itself because the cattle were laid out due to the poor spring, and we need to get it mown off. We need to get it made in bales and get it back into the grazing system. So yeah, it's very much weather dependent. Could be making hay of it. If the weather doesn't come, we're just going to bale it and make bales of silage out of it. So yeah, that's also going to be happening in the next week or so, but as I say, weather dependent. So yeah, that's videos coming up. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit the sub button, leave a like in the video, comment down below if you have any questions or comments to make. We'll see you in the next one.